do you call the sa ano?
A person's proficiency depends on where they live, education they have, and the person they interact with. This depicts the importance of English in our society, but also emphasizes the ongoing challenges Filipino have. Philippines, a country with over millions of people living on more than 7,000 islands. English is introduced by Americans during their colonization. Since then, it becomes the dominant language in our country that we use in education, politics, media, and business. It becomes one of the official language in the Philippines as it helps Filipinos connect socially. Nearly half of Filipinos speaks English, however, some face deficiency in comprehension and in speaking English.
First question is, do you know how to speak Filipino or Tagalog, like just a little bit?
Konti lang.
Konti lang. Yeah. So the next question is, what can you say about your first experience here in the Philippines?
That's a very broad question, right? Because my experience, I've been here 8 years, so I've got a lot of experience in a lot of different things now. I've been married here, I've had children here, bought property here, so bought motorbikes, vehicles. I think the best thing about the Philippines is the people and the nature. But sometimes, like is illustrated behind me, those don't get along because they cut down the entire jungle to put this new subdivision. And now everybody parks all their bikes underneath my trees for the shade. Doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. So you just want like a more like a peaceful place.
Yeah, that's why I moved to the province.
Yeah. Earlier is Filipino is known for its hospitality, right?
Philippines, yeah.
But somehow you're very kind. So the next question is, where did you learn to speak Filipino? Like, how did you learn that? How did you acquire that language?
Well, to reiterate, I don't really know. I know just enough to get by, right? But it's I guess what do they call it, immersion? Because I've lived here for so long now, I probably should know a lot more. She was the one to teach me basu. Yeah. So she taught me basu at Snack House.
Since you don't know a lot of Filipino words, so let's just change the question instead, since you don't know some Tagalog words.
Sure.
So what do you think? How would you acquire a Filipino language, like in school or when you talk to other Filipino people here in a casual conversation?
In a casual conversation, I don't think it's a very good way because the Filipino is so nice,
Yeah.
right? They try very hard to speak English. So it's not very likely that I'll pick up too much Tagalog unless I force the issue and I'm like, hey, like I did with Nicole. Hey, what is this called in Tagalog? And then she taught me. Then next week she taught me yellow.
Yeah.
To finish the question, sorry.
Okay.
I think I'm going to learn a lot through my children because they're going through school and they're fluent in Tagalog and they're also fluent in English. So they're able to bridge that gap for me a lot of times.
Yes, I think it also represents a lot of foreigners here, since when they go to the Philippines, they always tend to speak in English also because the Filipino adjust. Since foreigner want to learn Tagalog, they somehow want to, they want the Filipino to speak in Tagalog. But in some study, it also says that in casual conversation, you're able to learn also, you're able to acquire the Filipino language.
Well, it's a little bit, I think it's more complicated than that. The language center of your brain is right back spot like stringed instruments. So if you've played a stringed instrument or learned a second language or more, it creates a fold in that tissue in your brain so it can store more information. Unfortunately for me, I've never been bilingual. I've only known English, so I never developed any aptitude to learn a second language. I'm 54 years old. It's very difficult to pick up another language. And then just when I think that I'm learning something, I start to integrate it into my daily life, and then somebody will tell me, no, you can't. That's the wrong context. You can't use it like that. You know what I mean? So if I was very serious and had the time, I would probably put myself in pre-K and kindergarten and just go through the few years like that and learn the language, because my boys have done very well in just a couple years.
Yeah, I think you can learn more from your boys.
I think so.
So that's a good answer, actually. Then the next question is, how did you adjust with Filipino culture?
Some parts of it I've assimilated very well. Okay. And then, for instance, I come from the USA, and our highway lanes for a car or what have you are very wide. And if somebody gets this close to you on the highway, you're like, hey, whoa. And here, like in the Philippines, it's this close, right?
Yeah.
Somebody gets this close, you're like, So that's kind of typical of, Pinoy is they're very patient, and but also, dare I say, undisciplined. And that's the thing I think that people love the most about Filipino, and maybe some people don't like the most about Filipino, right? Especially like people working for me and things like that. You're gonna have 2 days off a month, and then all of a sudden there are 8 days off a month. It's hard to plan anything. So anyway, there's parts of the culture I've really assimilated to, and then there's parts that I just can't. Like this dried fish. If I smell
I think
that,
you call that dilis, like that. Dried fish, dilis.
dilis.
Right.
Dilis.
Small fish, dry.
Yeah, dilis.
Small.
Yeah, I don't know, small or big, but they're you go to wet
Dried
market.
fish.
And you take
Tuyo.
Kaliwa.
Tuyo.
Yeah.
Tuyo.
In Kaliwa, and then as you're leaving, you smell all this. I'm like, ooh. And Pinoy, they're like, oh.
Yeah, it's been part of the history of the Philippines,
Right?
actually.
Yeah.
In times of Jose Rizal and the times of Morga. Morga is actually foreigner, right?
Yeah.
He's from Spain.
Yeah.
And he write a books about the Filipino culture, and it says that Filipino smells bad. Actually, that's what they said. Filipino smells bad. The thing that smells bad is that what you call the
Balaw.
fish, the
Tuyo.
or what we call the bagoong. Do you know bagoong? Actually, a bagoong is
Shrimp.
yeah, that's what they call. They said that Filipino smells bad. But in Jose Rizal book, he explains that Filipino don't smell bad. It's just that the food. They said.
I've actually experienced the opposite. I'm the one that's bahut. Maybe I'm working, sweating, I go out in public, but I've never encountered another Pinoy that smells bad.
Yeah.
But that dried fish smells bad. I'm just saying.
We agree too. Yeah.
And then I'll go to Mercedes and get 10 kilo of tilapia maybe, right? And it's nice, plump, thick tilapia. And then somebody cook it, and it starts like this, and then it goes like this, and then like this. And then before you know it, it's just skin. They've cooked everything all out of it. It's not good. But my favorite way to cook fish like that is to bake it. Yeah, just bake it, and it's very nice and flaky and fluffy, and you still kill everything. And then you can use a instant read thermometer to make sure it's right.
Let's try to be more specific. In terms of language, how did you adjust your with other Filipino? Like, not the literal language. Like, for example, let's say the tone or when you apply the word into a different context, just like what you said earlier. Like,
well, okay, so here's the thing. At the base level, you're here, right?
Yeah.
Then you learn the language, the dialect, if you will, right? Then you can start to worry about voice inflection and tone and stuff like that. I can't even see that part of the mountain yet. You know what I mean? I'm still trying to learn just the basic language to survive. It is interesting though, and I've actually seen other Pinoy go through the same thing. And I don't know if it's because they speak a different dialect of Tagalog, you know, Bicolana, Visayan, or whatever, but they'll ask for directions. And, you know, some Pinoy, it doesn't matter, lalaki or babae, they'll be like, oh yeah, blah, 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 you go here by the coconut tree, and then kaliwa, derecho, derecho. And it's right there, it's right there. And so we go on the motorbike and go what they're saying, and it's nowhere. I don't know. So my point is that this very nice nature of the Filipino is also a thing that is a little bit frustrating, right? Because if you don't know, just tell me you don't know, and I'll try to find it myself or ask somebody else, right? But it's never like this. Very rare does somebody say, I don't know, kuya. I'm sorry. Wala. But mostly they give direction, even if it's the wrong direction.
Yeah, it also represents a lot of foreigners, especially those foreigners who just visit here for vacation. They don't have time to learn Tagalog. They just here, so we tend to adjust for the foreigners since we are welcome to other foreigners too. So we are the one that who's adjusting, and that's okay for us. That's
And
no
then,
problem.
isn't English the official second language of the Philippines?
Let's just say our main language
Mother
is
tongue.
Filipino or Tagalog.
Tagalog,
Then our
sure.
second language is English language.
Right.
Yes. Over 120 dialects, right?
Yeah.
As I understand it.
117
Yeah, something like that.
in the
Yeah.
Philippines.
It's crazy. Because even some Pinoy can't even talk to each other,
Yes,
you know?
that's right.
If they don't know English.
Did you notice?
Yes, I've seen it. Yeah.
We all. Then we're going to the next question. Is are you okay with that?
No, I'm good. I was just looking at the branch. I'm remembering right here. I had
Question is,
Go.
did you experience difficulty communicating with Filipino people?
yes, of
Let's
course.
say like, let's be broad. All kind of communication. Do you find it difficult?
I see myself. I navigate. For instance, wet market.
Yes.
Maybe I go. There's a place where they've got the Roma tomatoes for 15 pesos a kilo, and there's another that has 20 pesos per kilo. If I know the person and know that they can communicate 20 pesos per kilo, I'll probably pay the extra money. You understand? It's just example. So point being, I guess I don't have so much difficulty because I kind of know the people I can talk to now, who kind of know, who can communicate. But just meeting a stranger, sometimes it's difficult.
Let's go back to your answer earlier. I think that's a sad reality here in the Philippines. Like, they tend to change the price of
Yeah,
the
that's true.
food for the
Yeah.
foreigner because they think that foreigner is
Rich.
have a lot of money. They
That's
tend
an assumption,
to
yeah.
increase the price.
It's the English term is called haggling. Haggling.
Haggle.
Yeah. You're always it's not a fixed price. It's open to haggling. You can set your own price, and it makes things difficult. So like one thing like this kind of ties in. My car, I can't afford to fix my car. It's at J&M Auto. Bless their heart, they're very nice. They're leaving it there. It's over a month. But so I'm on my motorbike, so I have to take my kids everywhere on the motorbike. So it was time to get haircuts. And we've got a place in town. Instead, I took them to the closest barber right here, an older gentleman, blah, blah, blah. And everything was fine. But then, like I mentioned before, a couple guys stood in the doorway smoking, and the smoke is just coming right in on my kids. And then when it got down to Glenn, the 3-year-old, the barber pinched his bird, you know? And I know that's the culture, and it took everything inside of me not to say anything, you know, because in the U.S., this is crazy, you know. You'd never do something like that. Maybe you go to jail. Some people tell me, no, it's okay, natural, and I'm like, nah, I don't think so.
So thank you, sir, for sharing your insight about your experience here in the Philippines. So we hope you have your best and good stay here in the Philippines.
Thank you so much, and thanks for taking the time to interview me and get my insights. You've been a good interviewer. Thank you.
So the first question is po, since yung program na tinake po natin, which is the English Language Studies, it's a broad fields when it comes to the corporate world, like law, education, or anong ba mang opportunity ang pwedeng makuha na trabaho after you graduate. So, since you are studying English language, what kind of job or industry are you aiming to work in?
So, actually, plans ko after graduation is that bukod sa government, pangalawang option ko ay sa BPO or mga executive secretary positions.
So, since you mentioned that kind of job, I think they also like to use English language as a medium. So, the next question is, do you feel prepared to work in an environment where English is the main language of communication?
Yes, of course. I feel like I'm well prepared to be an environment where English language is the main language or for communication.
How do you handle English communication challenges?
I handle English communication challenges in I'd say sometimes when I encounter a communication problem, especially if the person I am talking to is not fluently speaking in English, I sometimes use our Filipino language kasi I believe bukod kasi sa English, we also have the Filipino language, and I believe na when it comes to misunderstandings, especially kapag language barrier. So we technically have to adjust na din. Even kasi if you know to yourself na yes, you can speak and write in English language, pero how about the person you're talking? Ayun.
So, you tend to adjust more.
Yes.
As an English major, di ba? Since, alam naman natin, di ba, especially here in the Philippines, being proficient in English language is like, sometimes they tend to use that as a measurement for the intelligence, because some of Filipino says that when you're able to speak in English language, you're kind of smart,
Yes.
which is, we all know that's not true. So the next question is, kapag magaling ka mag-English or when you're proficient in English language, do you think mas mapapadali ka makapasok sa mga top university or sa work na papasukan?
Frankly speaking, no. Kasi hindi measurement yung language when it comes dun sa kung ano yung capacity mo. Diba? Most of the employers, they look into skills na rather than what language can you speak? I mean, yes, what language can you speak when asked in an interview is sometimes parang advantage siya when you are multilingual, parang pero most of the time, employers looks for experience, skills, not just the language that you kumbaga parang learned all throughout your educational journey.
Good answer. Next question po is, how did you prepare your English for job interview?
Ayun. So, during my 4 years here in ELS, English Language Studies, so there are some courses where we refine our grammar, our sentence structure, and everything else. Pero I believe the thing that prepared me the most when it comes to speaking and writing English in any job interview is that I believe all courses under the English Language Studies, it tremendously helped me to prepare in parang main ko na language to be used in interviews is English talaga. So, ayun, parang yung mga courses na ng ELS is something that parang nakatulong pa it further helped me to be more fluent, tapos yung parang yung confidence ko din in speaking English and writing as well. So, ayun.
So the next question is, what resources help you improve your English language? Or English language skills?
Ayun. So, most of the resources kasi that help me improve my English. Before college, I was really a bookworm, you will say. Talagang I was very immersed in reading books and sometimes dictionaries to also improve my vocabulary skills ba. And here in college, most of the resources that we have kasi is mga through online education resources na available. Then we also have sa library, sa school library, we also have that. Madaming resources ang meron to further improve your English language. Pero I believe what tremendously helped me was yun nga, yung mga books, dictionaries, yun. Yeah.
Have you practiced English in a professional context?
Ayan. So, yes, not just me, but most of my classmates here in ELS have practiced English in a professional context.
So, what is your perspective as an ELS major student to the situation of English language here in the Philippines or here in the country?
So, I believe that the state of, let's say, learning the English language here in the Philippines is somewhat, pa din kasi, it is still, baga parang attached dun sa belief na when you are fluent in English, it determines your social status, which is to debunk that myth. It does not kumbaga parang it does not determine your social status. And dapat yun yung kumbaga parang way para talagang ma-inform yung mga tao na learning English is not, kumbaga, does not limit itself dun sa social status ng tao. But you can learn English at a young age, di ba? We have a lot of resources na online, and we also have, but parang we encourage the younger generation to study English.
According to the study of the University of the Philippines, Diliman, most of the parents believe that when your child is able to speak English language, or let's say, like, it defines the intelligence of their child. So, what can you say about that?
For me kasi, it can be, kumbaga parang, measurement of intelligence ng isang bata. Kapag they were exposed to it at a young age, talagang, let's say, preschool ka pa lang, pero marunong ka na mag-English. Kasi, when it comes kasi sa ganong sistema ba, ang pinaka measurement kasi niyan is yung kakayanan ng parents, yung kung ano yung background niya. Kasi, you cannot learn English that easily kung bata ka pa lang. So, definitely, the background, the social status, it can still affect kung baga parang may influence siya on how, dun sa, let's say, kumbaga parang sa proficiency ng bata when it comes to learning English language.
So, the last question is, what advice would you give to the younger student who also want to use English in their future careers?
Okay, so my advice for the ELS juniors, as I say, for the whole population in general. Okay, so siguro hindi sila ma-discourage when it comes to, kasi English language learning is not just you just learn the English language. Kasi ang dami niyang branches. Ang dami niyang mga dimensions. It's not just about learning the language. As a language learner, not just an English language learner, but as a language learner, super interesting niya talaga to further learn and explore the English language. So yun lang yung masasabi ko talaga. Further explore.
So, thank you so much for giving your time for us to be here. So, the first question po is, how do you handle English communication challenges?
Okay, so I am handling my communication skills when it comes to speaking English language by simply allowing some things to flow the way as it is. Since ever since I was a child naman, naging mother tongue ko na ang English since I grew up na hindi masyado sa syllabus. So therefore, I had to adapt with my environment na talagang English yung ginagamit na medium. So yun yung nakalakihan ko, and then up until now, yun pa rin yung ginagawa kong mode of communication mostly sa mga tao na nakaka-interact ko. When it comes sa challenges naman, siguro yun nga lang, parang go with the flow lang talaga siya since that's how communication works.
Since they say that being proficient in English language is a key factor in terms of academic success or often a requirement for admission to top university here in the Philippines. And somehow, like, employment opportunity siya, like, being a proficient in English language, like, parang advantage siya, ganon. So, do you agree with this po ba?
Siguro, I would like to agree with that thought kasi given naman din na English is what we all know, a universal language, and in line with that, talagang ito yung ginagamit nating medium to bridge the gap between different communities, and through this language, mas nagkakaroon tayo ng stable communication with other people, hindi lamang sa community natin, more of sa mga people across the other nations. And with that, mas na-foster natin yung solidarity between different people despite their different cultures.
What resources help you improve your English language?
The resources na na-utilize ko when it comes to improving my skills in English communications is more of yun nga yung gawa ng childhood experience ko na lagi akong nanonood ng mga Disney movies. So, na-adapt ko siya, and then I also started reading English books at the age of 2 or 3 years old. So, yun yung mga naging malaking factor, and then as I grew up din naman, mas na-utilize ko pa rin yung English as a language since yun nga, gawa ng sa, again, childhood experience, yun talaga yung na-adapt ko, and up until now, yun pa rin yung ginagamit ko. Especially, lalo na ngayon na I am in BSDev at the same time, nag-join ng beauty project. So, talagang sa mga aspects na yun, talagang gamit na gamit yung English as medium for communication.
So, since as a student, or let's say as a DevCom student, what is your perspective in terms of situation here of the English language in the Philippines?
When it comes sa situation, I think siguro gawa siya ng education system na meron ang ating country nowadays na I must say hindi masyadong ibibigyan ng priority. Therefore, parang may ibang nai-intimidate sa ibang mga tao na very fluent, very eloquent mag-English, and there are some na willing naman mag-learn, but because of the stereotypes na nai-impose sa mga social media platforms is nag-hold back. So in line with that, as DevCom student na, ang gusto ko lang iparating sa mga audiences when it comes to learning this language, siguro go on lang kasi ang English language is a universal language. So I must say, madali natin siyang ma-adapt given na madaming mga influences across our living. Madaming several factors na makaka-influence sa atin para mas matutunan yung English language. And with that, kailangan na natin siyang i-utilize at mas i-hone pa yung skills natin para mas ma-achieve natin yung goal natin sa pagmamaster ng language natin.
So, the last question po is, what advice would you give to the younger student who also want to use English in their future career?
For those students who are willing to learn, I must say, you should keep going lang. Keep on reading books, keep on expanding your vocabularies with the means of dictionaries and other materials available, both offline and online. And with that, practice your communication skills din, along with the people na alam mong makakatulong sa'yo. So, para naman ma-achieve mo yung goal mo to be a proficient student when it comes to speaking English.
Thank you so much po for your time.
Thank you po.
Good luck po sa exam nyo.
First question po is, paano niyo po i-handle yung mga communication challenges po?
Kadalasan po is, hinahayaan ko po or tinatanong ko po yung kausap ko na kung ano po yung sinasabi niya, or hinahayaan ko po siyang i-explain yung mga bagay na hindi ko po naiintindihan.
Ano po yung mga resources na nakakatulong para ma-improve po yung mga English language mo? Pwede po siya mga like application or apps or libro, something like that.
Okay. Nowadays po marami na pong possible resources katulad po sa internet or sa Google na lang po, for example, na pwede mo pong i-search yung mga high vocabulary English po na hindi nyo po naiintindihan. Meron naman rin pong application na Merriam-Webster Dictionary or pakikinig po sa mga teachers, English teachers po.
Next question po is, as an individual or as a Filipino po, ano po yung perspective nyo or paano nyo po nakikita yung sitwasyon po ng English language sa Pilipinas po, which is yung country po natin?
Yung sa tingin ko po is yung English language po dito sa Pilipinas is medyo mababa po kasi nga po dun sa nasabing survey po, yung nabalita po na yung mga graduate daw po ng grade 10 or high school level is mababa po yung ano nila sa English.
Reading comprehension or something like that. Then, last question po is, ano po yung advice nyo na mabibigay nyo po sa mga younger student po na nag-aim na pag-aralan din po yung English language para makatulong sa future po nila?
Advice. As a college student po, I think na dapat po talagang aralin yung English language kasi po, for some reason, or talagang ano,
Parang nandyan talaga siya.
opo, ginagamit po siya. Tsaka basehan din po siya para makakuha ka po ng magandang trabaho in the future.
So, the first question po is, how do you adjust yourself po when communicating to a foreigner country?
Well, how do I say this? It feels like natural because we were trained before in College of Arts and Sciences and also an English major. We are trained how to speak in English. And the professors there, we were taught not only how to speak in English, but during our leisure times, we were taught how to speak in British and sometimes Russian accent. That's why it feels like natural.
What is your perspective to the situation of English language here in our country, which is the Philippines?
Well, the standard, the situation of English language, comparing before and now, there's a big difference. Now we are adjusted to like social media English. Before, the grammar, the diction, the pronunciation, it's letter perfect. But now, we can speak English, but we are like Malaysians and Indonesians. The quality of English, especially, no offense meant, but we are so much inclined to be Hollywood English, the slang English, which is sometimes not good. Before, we are ranked as one of the best English speakers, not only in Southeast Asia, but in the world. But now, slowly, our fellow Southeast Asian neighbors were catching up to us, especially Singapore, catching up to us. Malaysia is also catching up to us. So what does it mean? The quality of our English speakers is, we are very much disturbed with social media and other external factors like that. So we have, for me, we have to go back to the basic English, the letter perfect English.
What advice would you give to the younger student or to the younger generation rather, who also want to pursue the English language to be used for their future studies?
Instead of watching Korean, Chinese channels, aside from, we are patriotic, aside from watching Filipino movies, you watch Hollywood movies, you watch English movies, you read English literature. You don't have English literature anymore in your course, right? Before we have. During our days, in class, we have English literature. Now, I don't know. But advice, experience is the best teacher. So if you want to improve your English proficiency, practice every day. Practice every day. A lot of fresh graduates, your go-to position job is call center, right? BPO. So the number one requirement in BPO, you have to be fluent in English language. How to speak, maybe not letter perfect, but conversational English. That's all.
Thank you so much po.